The gavel cracked like a gunshot in the oak-paneled courtroom of Boston's Suffolk County Superior Court, and Daniel Harper's world shattered into 1,000 jagged pieces. The estate of Elias Harper is hereby awarded in full to his brother, Victor Harper. The judge intoned, her voice as cold as the autumn wind rattling the windows. Daniel, 25 and hollow-eyed in his thrift store suit, felt the blood drain from his face as Victor's smug grin spread like oil on water. His uncle had won, and Daniel was erased, just like the old man always said he would be. Rain hammered the windshield of the Greyhound bus rumbling out of South Station, blurring the neon lights of the city into a smear of regret. Daniel slumped in his seat, the crumpled eviction notice from the family brownstone clutched in his fist, whispering to himself, "You're nothing but a ghost now. Kid, Elias's little mistake. But ghosts don't cry, they haunt." And as the bus merged onto I-93, Daniel's phone buzzed with a single text from an unknown number, Harper Manor. Midnight. Come alone. The truth waits. The gravel crunched under Daniel's boots like brittle bones as he approached the wrought iron gates of Harper Manor, the ancestral pile looming on the outskirts of Concord, Massachusetts, a sprawling Gothic revival monstrosity built on bootleg rum money in the 1920s. Elias, his grandfather, had died 3 months ago, leaving behind a fortune in real estate, distilleries, and whispers of Prohibition-era skeletons. Victor, ever the dutiful brother, had swooped in like a vulture, claiming Daniel was no bloodkin, just a bastard sob story Elias had pitted. The will reading had been a farce. Victor's lawyers, slick as Fenway hot dogs, produced amended documents that cut Daniel out entirely. No inheritance, no name on the deed, no place at the table. Just a one-way ticket back to the foster homes of his youth. But that text, it gnawed at him like a bad tooth. Daniel wasn't one for midnight rendezvous. Too many years dodging creeps in group homes had made him wary, but desperation has a way of sharpening edges. He slipped through the unlocked gate, the manor's lanterns flickering like wary eyes. The front door creaked open before he knocked, and there, silhouetted in the foyer's chandelier glow, stood William Blackwood. William was the kind of handsome that hit like a gut punch. Tall, broad-shouldered, with chestnut hair tousled just enough to suggest he didn't give a damn, and green eyes that held the depth of Walden Pond on a stormy day. At 28, he was Elias's estate lawyer, the one who'd vanished after the reading, leaving Daniel with nothing but echoes. "You came," William said, his voice low and rough, like gravel under tires. He stepped aside, gesturing into the shadowed hall. "Good. We don't have much time." Daniel hesitated, rain dripping from his jacket onto the Persian rug. "What the hell is this, Blackwood? Your firm's the one that buried me alive today." William's jaw tightened, a flicker of something raw crossing his face. "Guilt? Regret? It's not what you think. Elias trusted me with more than papers. Come on. The study's this way." They moved through the manor like thieves in their own house, portraits of stern Harpers glaring down from oiled frames. Elias's study was a time capsule, leather-bound ledgers, a globe scarred from late-night whiskeys, and a massive desk scarred deeper. William locked the door behind them, then knelt by the fireplace, prying up a loose hearthstone with a grunt. Dust motes danced in the lamplight as he pulled out a tin box, rusted at the edges. "Open it," William urged, handing it over. Daniel's fingers trembled as he lifted the lid. Inside, a yellowed envelope, sealed with Elias's signet ring, a roaring lion. And beneath it, a stack of letters tied with twine, addressed in a woman's looping script to "My dearest Eli." Daniel's breath hitched. This is the real will. William nodded, leaning against the desk, arms crossed like a barrier. Elias rewrote it 6 months ago, in secret. Named you sole heir. Victor found out, tried to buy me off, then threatened me when I wouldn't play ball. I hid it here. But he's closing in. Daniel. He's got eyes everywhere. Why you? Daniel's voice cracked, suspicion warring with the ache in his chest. William had always been there, orbiting the edges of Elias's life, a quiet presence at holiday dinners, offering Daniel a sympathetic glance when Victor sneered. But now, in the firelight, William looked less like a lawyer and more like a man carrying his own ghosts. Because Elias knew, William said softly, eyes dropping to the floor. About us. About everything. The air thickened, charged like the storm outside. Daniel remembered the first time he'd seen William truly, 2 years back, at a Harper Foundation gala in Beacon Hill. Daniel, awkward in his borrowed tux, nursing a gin and tonic to dull the edges of Victor's barbs. William had cut through the crowd, handed him a fresh drink. "Ignore the vultures," he'd murmured, his hand brushing Daniel's just long enough to spark something forbidden. "You're the one with wings." Wings. Daniel had laughed it off then, chalking it up to the booze. But later that night, in the Manor's library, with jazz humming from the speakers and the world forgotten, William had kissed him, slow, deliberate, like unraveling a secret. It was Daniel's first real taste of desire, untainted by shame or survival. They'd stolen moments after that, late-night drives along the Charles River, hands intertwined over the gearshift, whispered confessions in the hayloft of the Manor's old stables, where the scent of earth and horse mingled with their sweat. William called it our rebellion, but to Daniel, it was salvation, a tether in the storm of Victor's disdain. Elias had known. The old man, with his twinkling eyes and cryptic toasts, had pulled Daniel aside once. "Love like that? Boy, it's the only fortune worth fighting for." But Victor, he'd smelled it like blood in the water, using slurs like weapons, warning William to stay professional with a glare that promised ruin. Now, with the will in his hands, Daniel felt the pieces slotting into place. "You risked everything for this? For me?" William stepped closer, the space between them humming. "I risked it because I couldn't lose you." Not to him. Not after. His voice trailed, hand reaching out to cup Daniel's jaw, thumb tracing the scar from a childhood fall. The touch ignited memories, bodies pressed in the dark, breaths sinking like waves on the shore. Daniel leaned in, their lips meeting in a kiss that tasted of rain and resolve. It was desperate, tongues clashing like swords, hands fisting in shirts as if to anchor against the tide. When they broke apart, foreheads pressed, Daniel whispered, "What now?" William's eyes hardened. "We take it to court." But Victor's got the judge in his pocket, old fraternity ties. "We need leverage. Proof he's forged the amendments." As thunder rolled, they poured over the letters, love notes from Elias's youth, hidden because they were to a man, a bootlegger named Theo, whose death in a raid had broken Elias's heart. The will wasn't just paper. It was a reckoning, affirming Daniel as the true heir, born of Elias's secret marriage to a woman who'd fled the family's bigotry. Victor's claim? A lie built on erasure. By dawn, they had a plan. Daniel would go public, leak the letters to the Boston Globe. But as they slipped out the back, tires screeched on the drive, Victor's Escalade, headlights slicing the fog. Run! William shoved Daniel toward the woods, but it was too late. Rough hands yanked him back. Victor's face twisted in the glare. You little shit, Victor snarled, breath sour with scotch. Thought you could slink in here? Blackwood's mine now, signed a deal this morning. The will's a fake, and you're done. Daniel's stomach plummeted. William? No. But as Victor's goons pinned him, William emerged from the shadows, expression blank. Sorry, Daniel. Business is business. Betrayal hit like a freight train. Daniel's vision blurred with tears as they dragged him to the car, Victor's laugh echoing. Family's about blood. Boy. And yours ran out years ago. The basement of Victor's Back Bay penthouse smelled of mildew and malice. Bare bulb swinging, concrete floor biting into Daniel's knees. They'd bound his wrists with zip ties, left him to stew while Victor handled William upstairs. Hours ticked by, each one a hammer blow to Daniel's heart. How could he, after the nights tangled in sheets, promises murmured against skin? William, with his poet's soul hidden under lawyer's pinstripes, had been Daniel's North Star. Now, just another Harper lie. Footsteps on the stairs jolted him upright. The door creaked, and William slipped in, tie loosened, eyes wild. Daniel, God, are you okay? Don't, Daniel spat, twisting away. Save the act. You sold me out. William knelt, fumbling with a pocketknife to cut the ties. It's not, listen. I played along to get close. Victor's got a safe in his office, deeds, bribes, everything. I cracked it while he was gloating. Here, he pressed a USB drive into Daniel's palm. Recordings. Proof he's been siphoning estate funds for years. Embezzlement. The works. Daniel rubbed his wrists, suspicion warring with hope. Why should I believe you? You walked away like it was nothing. William's face crumpled, hands framing Daniel's. Because walking away from you is nothing. It's hell. I did it to protect us, to get the evidence without tipping him off. Elias made me promise. Keep Daniel safe, no matter what. His voice broke. I love you. Have since that first gala, when you smiled through the pain like it was just another Tuesday. The words hung, heavy as the rain outside. Daniel searched those green eyes, seeing the truth etched there, the same vulnerability from their stolen nights. He surged forward, capturing William's mouth in a kiss that was all teeth and forgiveness, bodies crashing together on the cold floor. It was frantic, clothes shedding like old skin, William's hands mapping scars and secrets as if recommitting to memory. Never again, William gasped against Daniel's neck, thrusts deep and claiming. You're mine. We're Harpers now together. They dressed in haste, slipping out through a service door as Victor's snores rumbled from above. Back at the manor, under cover of the storm, they uploaded the files to a secure server, drafting an email to the DA's office. But dawn brought helicopters, news vans swarming the drive, Victor's press conference in full swing. A family tragedy, he bloviated to the cameras, twisted by a desperate outsider. Daniel and William watched from the attic, hearts pounding. Now or never, William said, hitting send. Within minutes, Victor's face drained of color on the feed as his phone exploded with calls. The Globe's headline broke online. Harper air hoax. Forged will. Embezzled millions? Chaos erupted. Victor barricaded himself in the study, lawyers scrambling like rats. Daniel, bolstered by William's arm around his waist, descended the grand staircase like a king reclaiming his throne. Reporters surged, but Victor's security held them back until the sheriff's deputies arrived, warrants flashing. "You!" Victor bellowed, bursting from the study, face purple. "This is libel, Blackwood. You traitorous. Save it for the judge." William cut in, voice steel. "The real will's filed. Daniel's the heir. And your amendments? Traced to a forger in Lynn. Enjoy county lockup." The confrontation was electric. Victor lunging like a cornered animal, but deputies pinned him. As cuffs clicked, his eyes locked on Daniel's, hatred melting into something broken, almost pitiable. "Elias was wrong about you," he hissed. "You're weak. Just like you're whatever you are with him." Daniel stepped forward, chin high. "Weak? I loved him enough to fight. You erased everyone, Dad. Elias, even yourself. Blood ties aren't chains, Uncle. They're choices." Victor was hauled away, the manor falling silent save for the patter of rain. Daniel turned to William, the weight lifting like fog over the Middlesex fells. "What now?" "The will says I run it all, distilleries, foundations, the works." William pulled him close, lips brushing his temple. "We run it. Together. Make it mean something, scholarships for kids like you were, safe houses for loves like ours." Weeks blurred into a whirlwind. Court victories, asset freezes, Victor's plea deal for 10 years. Daniel sold off the toxic parts, the bootleg ghosts, and poured the rest into the Harper Legacy Fund. Grants for LGBTQ youth, mental health clinics in underserved Boston neighborhoods. The manor turned into a retreat for queer artists, walls echoing with laughter instead of lies. One crisp October evening, as leaves blazed crimson along the Concord River, Daniel and William stood on the Widow's Walk, the city lights twinkling like distant stars. William slipped a simple silver band onto Daniel's finger. Vows exchanged in whispers, no priest needed. To family redefined, William toasted with a flask of the new Harper rye, smooth as hope. Daniel clinked his glass, heart full. To us, the will that ruled, it was never paper. It was this. Below, the world turned, indifferent and alive. In America, the land of second chances, reinventions, and rain-washed redemptions, they'd carved their place. Not erased, but etched eternal. The first board meeting of the newly minted Harper Legacy Foundation was a far cry from the cutthroat affairs Daniel remembered from his teens. Those tense dinners where Victor dissected balance sheets like cadavers, his knife-sharp voice carving away at Elias's dreams. Now, in the sun-drenched conference room of the manor's east wing, sunlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the apple orchards, and the air hummed with possibility. Daniel sat at the head of the polished walnut table, William to his right, their knees brushing under the cloth like a secret handshake. First Order, the youth center in Dorchester, Daniel began, sliding glossy renderings across the table. The board, a mix of Elias's old allies, queer activists from Boston's South End, and fresh-faced MBAs hungry for purpose, leaned in. Fully funded, no strings. Therapy suites, legal aid, a drop in space where kids can just be. Nods rippled around the room, but Clara Voss, A silver-haired firebrand who'd marched in the '70s Stonewall echoes, raised a manicured hand. And security? Victor's cronies are still sniffing around. That plea deal didn't erase his Rolodex. William cleared his throat, all professional poise masking the tension Daniel knew simmered beneath. We've hired Pinkerton-level protection, discreet, but ironclad. No more ghosts at the gate. The meeting wrapped with handshakes and coffee refills, the board filing out to tour the grounds. Alone at last, Daniel exhaled, slumping back. Think they'll buy it? Me? Running this circus. William's hand found his under the table, squeezing. They see what I do, a man who turned ashes into a phoenix. Elias would be proud. Proud. The word still stung, a bruise that hadn't fully faded. Elias's funeral had been a spectacle. Black limos snaking up the drive, Boston Brahmins in pearls and pinstripes murmuring condolences laced with pity. Daniel had stood graveside in the family plot, earth redolent of turned soil and chrysanthemums, while Victor hovered like a specter, whispering, "This changes nothing, nephew. You're still the outsider." William had been there too, a pillar in the crowd, his gaze a lifeline across the sea of hypocrisy. That night, after the casseroles cleared and the house emptied, they'd made love in Elias's old bed, slow, reverent, as if consecrating the space. William's body over his, strong and sure, had whispered away the grief. "You're home now. With me." It was the first time Daniel believed it. But belief was fragile, tested daily in the rubble of reconstruction. Victor's trial loomed like a thunderhead, set for federal court in Springfield, where embezzlement charges would unpack decades of fraud. The DA's office had subpoenaed everything: ledgers, wire transfers, even Victor's love letters to a mistress in the Caymans. Daniel had pored over them in secret, bile rising at the banality of betrayal. His uncle, the family patriarch, reduced to desperate scribbles. "Need the cash, darling." The boys sniffing too close. "You okay?" William's voice pulled him back, thumb stroking his wrist. Daniel forced a smile. "Just ghosts." Speaking of, Clara's right. Victor's not done. Got a call from his lawyer yesterday. Settlement offer, he called it. $5 million to drop the civil suit and sign an NDA. William's eyes darkened. "And you said, hell no." But it got me thinking. What if he flips, testifies against us to lighten his sentence? He won't. Man's ego is his anchor, sinks him every time. William stood, pulling Daniel up into an embrace that smelled of cedar cologne and fresh newsprint. "We've got the truth. That's our armor." Their kiss started soft, a bomb, but deepened with the urgency of stolen time. William backing him against the table, hands roaming with possessive hunger. Daniel gasped as fingers dipped below his belt, teasing. "Boardroom quickie? Classy. Only the best for the air," William murmured, nipping his earlobe. They tumbled into it, shirts unbuttoned, the table creaking under their rhythm. A symphony of gasps and grips, sunlight gilding sweat-slick skin. Release came fierce, leaving them tangled and breathless, laughter bubbling up like champagne. "Love you," Daniel panted, tracing William's jaw. "Love you more." But as they straightened clothes, a knock shattered the afterglow. A courier, envelope in hand, sealed with the Harper Lion. Inside, a single photo, grainy but unmistakable. Daniel and William, entwined in the stables 2 summers back. passion frozen mid-frame. Scrawled on the back, drop the suit, or Boston reads all about the heir's perversions. Daniel's hands shook, the room tilting. He had us tailed. The bastard knew. William's face hardened to granite. Two can play dirty. We go public, preempt him. Own our story. But owning it meant cracking open veins. Letting the world see the raw underbelly of their love. Daniel had hidden his queerness for years. A survival tactic in Victor's shadow, Elias's quiet acceptance a rare grace. Now, headlines would feast. Harper scandal. Gay heir's bedroom blackmail. That night, over takeout lo mein in the kitchen, they debated by candlelight, the manor's power flickering from a nor'easter. It's leverage, William argued, chopsticks poised. Turn his weapon into ours. The Foundation's mission? Queer youth. This proves skin in the game. Daniel pushed rice around his plate. Appetite fled. Proves? Or parades? What if it scares off donors? Or worse, puts a target on us? William set down his sticks, reaching across. Then we fight smarter. I've got a contact at NPR off the record sit down. Frame it as resilience. Not sleaze. Resilience. The word echoed Elias's old yarns. Bootleggers outrunning feds through speakeasies. Love enduring in shadowed alleys. Daniel nodded, resolve hardening. Okay. But we do it together. No more solo runs. The interview aired 2 weeks later. A primetime special that hijacked dinner tables from Cape Cod to the Cape. William's voice steady on the radio. Love isn't scandal. It's survival. Victor Harper weaponized our private moments to silence justice. But Daniel and I, we're done hiding. Daniel's segment followed. Voice thick but unbroken. I lost my name once. Won't lose my heart again. This foundation, it's for every kid told they're erasable. We're not ghosts. We're the future. Collins flooded. Support from PFLAG chapters. Vitriol from talk radio trolls. But the tide turned, donations spiked. The youth center broke ground with rainbow shovels. Victor's offer retracted overnight, his lawyer stammering apologies. Yet victory tasted bittersweet. Late one night, as snow dusted the orchards, Daniel found William in the study, staring at the tin box, the letters from Theo, Elias's lost love. Ever wonder if we could have met sooner? William asked, voice small. Without the walls? Daniel wrapped arms around him from behind, chin on shoulder. Sooner would have missed the fight that made us unbreakable. They made love by the fire that night. Tender, exploratory, hands learning new languages of touch. William's mouth tracing collarbones. Daniel's fingers weaving through hair. Bodies arching in unison. It was communion, healing the fractures of exposure. Spring brought the trial. Springfield's courthouse a hive of suits and whispers. Daniel testified first. The will clutched like a talisman. Recounting Victor's gaslighting. He called me a mistake. Said Elias pitied the faggot orphan. But this, he held up the document. This says I'm legacy. Victor took the stand sneering. Spinning yarns of family protection. But the recordings, William's USB gold, unraveled him. Wire 5 mil to the offshore. His voice crackled. Damning. The jury deliberated 2 hours. Guilty. 10 years. Plus restitution. As deputies led him out, Victor paused by Daniel. Chains rattling. You think this wins? The Harpers rot from within always have. Daniel met his gaze. Unflinching. Then we'll rebuild. Without you. Outside. Rain slicked the steps, ironic echo of that bus ride months back. William waited, umbrella in hand. Free man. Freer. Daniel pulled him into the downpour, kissing him fierce and unashamed. Cameras be damned. Let the world see. Summer swelled the foundation's ranks. Interns buzzing like bees. The Dorchester Center ribbon cut with a crowd chanting, Harper Pride. Daniel and William escaped to Provincetown for a weekend, whale watching off the dunes, hands linked on the deck as humpbacks breached. Our rebellion, William teased, echoing old words. But peace fractured on the solstice. A letter arrived, postmarked from Victor's prison. The full truth about your mother. Boy. Meet me, or it dies with me. Daniel's pulse thundered. His mother, gone since he was 6, a vague ghost of lullabies and lavender. Elias had said accident, but whispers hinted overdose. Scandal. He's baiting, William warned, crumpling the paper. Don't go. Yet curiosity clawed, a hook in the gut. One visit. Closure. The prison was a gray slab in upstate New York, razor wire glinting like malice. Victor looked diminished, orange jumpsuit hanging loose, eyes sunken. Sit, he grunted through plexiglass. Daniel did, receiver cold. Talk. Your ma? Not some junkie. She left because of him, Elias. Found his letters to Theo. Flipped. Said the family's cursed with devils. Took you to spite him. Died running from shame. Mostly. Lies? Truth? Daniel's chest tightened. Why tell me now? Victor's laugh was a wheeze. Hates a lonely bed. Nephew. And yours? Is the mirror of mine. We could have been allies, kept the queers out. Run it straight. Rage surged. Allies? You erased me. Us. Erased? I protected. Victor leaned close. Blackwood's playing you. Check his emails before the trial. He's the one who tipped me to the stable's pick. Daniel recoiled, the booth spinning. Betrayal. Round 2, he stormed out, driving south in a blur, rain lashing the windshield. William's calls went to voicemail. Home. He hacked William's laptop, password their anniversary, a trust now poisoned. Inbox flooded, drafts to Victor's lawyer. For Daniel's safety, delay the leak. But buried deeper, confirm payment for photo op. Make it hurt. Payment? Daniel's world cracked. William, bought off again? Confrontation brewed that night. Manor dark save for kitchen fluorescence. William walked in whistling, faltered at Daniel's glare. What's wrong? Emails. To him. You sold the photo? William paled. Daniel, no. It was a plant. Victor's hack. I reported it. But, save it. Daniel hurled the printout. I'm done being the fool. He fled to the stables. Hayloft their sanctuary, now a cage. Sobs racked him. The betrayal a fresh wound. Deeper. Because it was love's blade. Hours later, William climbed up, face streaked. Read this. He tossed a folder. Forensic report. Timestamps proving Victor's breach. I fought for you. Always. Daniel scanned. Doubt crumbling. Forged trails. Decoy accounts. Why not tell me? Fear. Of losing you to paranoia. William knelt. Vulnerable. I'm all in. Marry me? For real. Tears mingled as Daniel pulled him down. Forgiveness in every touch, lips, limbs, souls entwining. Dawn found them spent, ring exchanged in hay-scented light. Victor's truth? A bluff. Mother's death clean, heartbreak, not scandal. They buried it with the past. By fall, the foundation thrived. Daniel and William's wedding a quiet affair on the widow's walk. Vows under harvest moon. Guests toasting with Harper rye. To wills that bind, Daniel said. And hearts that rule, William replied. In America's weave of grit and grace, they'd woven their thread, unerasable, unbreakable. The harvest moon hung low over Harper Manor like a lantern swung by some benevolent giant, casting silver filigree on the widow's walk where Daniel and William exchanged rings that crisp September eve. It was no grand affair, no paparazzi scrum, no society page splash, just a circle of true souls. Clara with her rainbow stole, a smattering of foundation staffers bearing pies from the orchards, and Elias's ancient portrait gazing down from the hall like a benediction. The officiant, a non-binary rabbi from Cambridge with tattoos peeking from cuffs, bound them with words borrowed from Whitman. I give you myself, pressed by the speaker or singer. For I am the one who celebrates love. Daniel's vows came first, voice steady despite the lump in his throat. William, you walked into my storm holding not just a will, but a way out. You saw me, really saw when I was invisible. I promised to hold you through every gale, to build with you, not despite the cracks, but because of them. He slid the band on, simple tungsten etched with a lion's mane. William's eyes shimmered, green as the first leaves of spring. Daniel, you taught me courage isn't absence of fear, it's loving through it. From that first brush of hands to this, you've been my compass. I vow to navigate every shadow with you, to make our family the kind that heals, not haunts. Their kiss sealed it, soft thunder amid cheers, the moon winking approval. Afterward, they danced in the great hall to Coltrane on vinyl, feet shuffling on Persian rugs worn by generations. Daniel leaned into William's chest, heartbeat sinking like a metronome. Husband, he tested the word, grinning. William nuzzled his neck. Sounds right. Like rye on the rocks. But honeymoons deferred, the foundation demanded them. The Dorchester Center, dubbed Elias's anchor, buzzed with openings. Art studios splashed in murals of fierce mermaids and city skylines, counseling rooms soft with lavender diffusers. Daniel cut the ribbon himself, scissors flashing, a throng of wide-eyed teens cheering. One boy, no older than 16 with purple-streaked hair and a stutter, gripped his hand after. Sir, this place. It's like breathing easy for the first time. Daniel knelt. A level. Call me Daniel. And yeah, that's the point. No more holding your breath. Word spread like wildfire through Boston's underground networks. Glad spotlights, TikTok testimonials. Donations poured in, from tech bros in the seaport to blue-collar unions in Charlestown. William handled the legalese, negotiating grants with the feds, his Harvard polish now laced with heart. Nights, they'd collapse into bed, bodies weary but seeking, William's hands strong on Daniel's hips, guiding slow rolls that spoke of gratitude, Daniel's mouth mapping freckles like constellations. My anchor, William would murmur post-climax, fingers tracing the wedding band. Yet shadows lingered. Victor's appeals dragged, his prison letters a drip of venom. The world sees your freak show now. Enjoy the fall. Daniel burned them in the study hearth, but embers of doubt flickered. Late October brought a bombshell. An anonymous tip to the Globe, Harper Ayres Foundation. Money laundering front? The article cited insider sources, dredging Victor's old frauds, implying Daniel's cleanup was a cover. Panic rippled through the board. Emergency meeting in the conference room. Storm clouds brooding outside. Clara paced, heels clicking. It's him stirring shit from Sing Sing. We need a PR blitz. Or a PI, one MBA suggested. Ty Askew. Trace the leak. William slammed his laptop shut. Already on it. My guy's ex-FBI says it reeks of Victor's cellmate. A hack-for-hire type. Daniel rubbed temples. Migraine blooming. Damage? Donors pulling. Some jitters, Clara admitted. But we've got audits squeaky clean. Fight fire with facts. The Blitz launched. Op-eds in the Herald. A viral video of teens at the center sharing stories. Raw. Unfiltered. Here. I'm not that gay kid. I'm just me. Daniel went on CNN. Face composed. Voice edged with steel. My uncle tried to bury me. Won't let him bury this work. Transparency's our creed. Audits public. Doors open. Pushback came swift. Victor's appeal hearing, rescheduled to federal court in Worcester, ballooned into a circus. Protesters with signs. Justice for Harper fraud. And let love launder? Daniel and William attended. Suits crisp. Hands clasped defiantly. Victor, shackled and sallow, smirked from the dock as his lawyer spun. New evidence. Emails proving coercion by the heir and his associate, the judge. A no-nonsense woman with salt and pepper bun. Peered over glasses. Produce them. Counsel. Bluff called. The lawyer stammered. But as cross-examination dug, Victor cracked, spilling not just appeals, but bile. That boy? Elias's shame. I protected the name, kept the deviants out, gasps echoed. William squeezed Daniel's hand. A lifeline. The judge banged gavel. Appeal denied. Contempt fine. 30 days solitary. Outside. Rain lashed again, Boston's eternal underscore. Daniel retched into a gutter. Years of poison surfacing. William held him, coat shielding. It's over. He's caged. Not yet. Daniel straightened. Eyes fierce. He named me shame. Time to rename the legacy. November's chill bit as they pivoted. A gala at the center. Shame to strength. Black tie with a twist. Guests in shame suits shed for pride flags. Daniel emceed. Spotlit. Shame's a thief, steals voices. Homes. Futures. Tonight, we reclaim. Auction paddles flew. A Warhol-esque portrait of Elias and Theo, fictionalized. Tender. A weekend at the manor. William bid on a Vaurenewal package. Winking. Practice for our anniversary. The night peaked with toasts. Clara raising glass. To Daniel and William. Proof love launders nothing but souls. Laughter flowed. Then Daniel pulled William aside to the mural wall. Mermaids watching. Dance with me. Waltz in empty hall. Bodies close. World fading. Every day, William whispered, dipping him low. Kiss upside down and giddy. But December dusted frost on triumphs. A donor pulled. A conservative trust citing moral misalignment. Whispers in boardrooms. Is the air stable? Daniel overheard at a fundraiser. Glass slipping from numb fingers. Home. He unraveled, pacing the study. Fire dying. They see Victor in me. The rot. William blocked his path. Hands on shoulders. Bullshit. They see strength. The man who built this from betrayal. He kissed forehead, cheeks, lips, deepening to distraction, guiding Daniel to the rug. Clothes pooled. William's mouth hot trail down chest, taking him slow, reverent. Daniel arched, fingers in hair, release a sob of surrender. Afterward, curled, William murmured, "You're my moral north." Always. Christmas brought balm. Manor strung with lights. Foundation kids caroling off-key. Daniel gifted William a leather-bound journal for our unwritten chapters. William's box held a key to a cottage in Wellfleet. Our escape hatch. New Year's dawned crisp. Resolutions whispered over champagne. Expand the center to Lowell. Weave in Theo's story via scholarships. But fate twisted January's thaw. A call from the warden. Victor. Suicide attempt. Razor in cell. Veins nicked but saved. Daniel drove up alone. William's protests echoing. Prison smelled of bleach and despair. Victor bandaged, hooked to monitors in infirmary, looked spectral. Come to gloat. No, Daniel sat. To understand. Why hate so hard? Victor's eyes. Milky. Fixed distant. Elias chose him, Theo, over blood. Over me. I was the dutiful one, building empires while he chased ghosts. You, his echo. Had to end it. Pity stirred. Unwelcome. Hate didn't save you. It hollowed. Save yourself. Boy, Victor coughed. Blackwood's got secrets too. Ask about the night Elias died. Daniel left chilled. Words worming. That night. Confrontation soft. What happened? The night Grandpa passed. William sighed. Pouring scotch. Stroke. I was with him, holding his hand. He made me promise. Protect you. The will. Pause. And forgive Victor. Said he was broken. Not evil. Forgive. Daniel's voice rose. He tried to kill us. All of us. Not kill. Erase. Like his own pain. William knelt. Elias saw the man under the monster. Maybe we can too. Doubt nod. But love mended. They made amends in bed fierce. Reclaiming. William's body shield and sword. Thrusts punctuating mine. Ours. Forever. February's Valentine Gala glittered. Red hearts on murals. Couples swaying. Daniel proposed a toast. To forgiveness, not for them, but us. Freeing space for joy. Victor stabilized. Letters shifting. Sorry's a coward's word. But regret, that's mine. No reply, but Daniel filed them away, not burned. Spring bloomed. Centers thriving. Their marriage a quiet revolution. One dawn. Jogging the orchards. Daniel stopped. Breathless. Kids. Someday? William grinned. Sweaty kiss. Our kind of family? Hell yes. In America's heartland of reinvention. They'd forged gold from dross. Love's alchemy. Enduring. Cherry blossoms dusted the paths of the Boston Public Garden like faded confetti from some long-ago parade. And Daniel Harper Blackwood walked them with a lightness he hadn't known since childhood. Before the Foster shuffles. Before Victor's shadow eclipsed the sun. It was May. The Foundation's first anniversary marked by a picnic under the swan boats. Kids from the centers laughing over frisbees. Clara presiding over a cake iced with unerasable. William lounged nearby. Sleeves rolled. Reading case law aloud in that gravelly baritone that still sent shivers down Daniel's spine. Earth to hubs. William called, snapping fingers. You're grinning like you won the Powerball. Daniel flopped beside him, stealing a strawberry from the cooler. Better. We did this, turn poison into. This. He gestured wide. Laughter. Love. Legacy. William's hand found his thigh. Squeeze proprietary. We. Yeah. Their kiss was lazy, very sweet, ignoring a teen's wolf whistle. But as sun dipped, Daniel's phone buzzed, warden's prefix. Victor, requesting a visit. Again. The drive to Sing Sing was a meditation in green New York hills, wildflowers nodding like old friends. Daniel arrived composed, but Victor's cell-side meeting through bars this time, solitary ended unsettled. The man looked frail, prison pallor etching lines deeper, but eyes sharp. You came. Knew you would. Curiosity, Daniel admitted, perching on metal stool. Your last letter about Mom. The full story. Victor nodded, voice a rasp. She was fire. Your ma. Nora. Met Elias in 78. Some dive in the North End, disco nights. Before AIDS scared everyone straight. A chuckle. Dry. He loved her fierce. But Theo's ghost lingered. When she found the letters. Exploded. Our boy's not growing up in this lie, she said. Took you to Philly. Changed names. Overdosed on pills 6 months later, depression. The cops ruled. But me, I think heartbreak. Daniel swallowed. Egg fresh. Elias never said. Protected you. Like I tried to. Victor leaned close. One more thing, the codicil. Elias added it week before dying. Names me co-trustee if you falter. Family redeems, he wrote. Pull me in. Boy. Let me atone. Atonement? The word soured. You erased me. Erased the threat. Now, I'm dust. Victor's hand trembled through bars. For Nora's sake. Daniel left torn. Hills blurring. William waited at a diner off I-87. Pie steaming. Well, Codex codicil. Makes Victor co if I screw up. Daniel forked crust. And Mom's story. Checks out. Heartbreak. William's brow furrowed. He's fishing. Don't bite. But the hook lodged. Back home. Daniel dug archives. Nora's obit. Faded Polaroid of her laughing. Babe in arms, him. Elias's journals. Post-loss, my fire gone. Must shield the spark she left. Tears came unbidden. William holding through the night. Body heat chasing chills. Love making a gentle tide. Waves lapping wounds. June sweltered. Foundation expanding. Satellite Center in Lowell's Mills District. Weaving textile history with queer narratives. Threads of us exhibit. Looms clacking stories of hidden loves. Daniel keynote the opening. Sweat beating under lights. Weave tight, folks. Storms come, but strong thread holds. Crowd applauded, but backstage, a donor cornered him, silver fox from the old guard. Admirable, son. But co-trustee with him, Victor Harper? Whispers say you're soft. Soft. The slur echoed Victor's. Daniel stiffened. Whispers lie. Watch us thrive. Gossip festered. Board tensions simmering. Clara called emergency coffee. Victor rumors poison. Shut them down. Or use M. William countered. Over lattes in Newbury Street Cafe. Announce the codicil publicly. Show transparency. Invite him post-release, supervised redemption arc. Daniel balked. Him? Here. Control the narrative. Elias's wish. Honor it your way. Debate raged nights. Pros, healing. Press gold. Cons, betrayal redux. July's heat wave broke with storms. Lightning illuminating decision. Yes, with safeguards. Press release dropped. Harper Foundation welcomes redeemed trustee. Victor Harper joins post-sentence. Backlash howled, petitions, boycotts threatened. A kid from the center cornered Daniel. He hurt you. Why him? Kid, Daniel said, squatting in the art room, paint splattered. Hurts a teacher. We teach back. Show mercy's muscle too. Victor's release came August 1st. A gray dawn at the gates. Media swarmed, but Daniel waited in an unmarked sedan. William shotgun. Victor emerged blinking, duffel slung thinner, humbled. No cameras for me? Inside, Daniel said curt. Drive south silent, tension thick as humidity. Manor loomed, staff eyeing warily. Tour, centers via video link. Kids' faces beaming. Victor's mask slipped. Tears at a mural of two men dancing. 1920s style. Theo, he murmured. Board meeting next. Victor peripheral. Probationary. He spoke halting. I wasted years on fear. This, redemption's shot. I'll fundraise old contacts. Clean now. Skepticism lingered, but Clara nodded. Prove it. Months tested. Victor cold-calling donors. Voice cracking on apologies. A gala in September, his speech. Halting. I was the eraser. Now, I write you back in. Applause tentative. Then thunderous. But cracks showed. October. Daniel caught Victor in the study. Pawing ledger's old habits? Boundaries, Daniel snapped. Just checking, Victor backpedaled. Proud. Boy. Of you. Pride from him? Daniel softened fraction. Dinner? Neutral ground. Diner in Waltham. Booths greasy. Coffee bitter. Victor opened. Nora'd be proud too. Feisty like you. Tell me more. Stories flowed. Her laugh. Dances. The day she left. Laughter bridged. Tentative. William watched wary. Post-dinner dissection. He's trying. But trusts earn drop by drop. November elections buzzed. Foundation lobbying for queer protections. Victor's Rolodex opened doors in Albany. A win, bill passed. Centers safe funded. Toast at home. Victor invited. Scotch poured. To family, he said. Glass raised. Glasses clinked. But Daniel's eye caught William's, wary warmth. December deepened bonds. Victor volunteering at Dorchester. Kids dubbing him Grumpy Lion. One night, snow falling, he cornered Daniel in the stables. The codicil? Elias knew I'd break. Wrote it to force my hand. Pull me back. Or push you away, Daniel countered. Victor chuckled. Smart old coot. Thank him, for you. Holidays healed. Manner festive. Victor carving turkey awkward but earnest. Post-feast. Daniel and William slipped to hayloft tradition. Lovemaking urgent. Hay prickling. William's whispers. Proud of you. Forgiving's fierce. Climax crested. Then quiet. Victor's changing, Daniel said. Or playing long game. William's doubt. Seed planted. January thawed secrets. Anonymous email to board. Victor's atonement a con. siphoning microfunds. Audit confirmed. Pennies, but intent clear. Confrontation in study. Fire crackling accusation. Again, Daniel roared. Redemption my ass. Victor deflated. Slips. Boy. Old skin sheds slow. Won't happen again. Out. Daniel pointed door. Probation revoked. Victor left head bowed. But not before. Elias forgave worse. Try. William comforted. Arms. Kisses trailing to bed. Reassuring rhythm. Bodies affirming trust. You're enough. We are. February's frost mirrored rift. Victor vanished. Rumors of relapse. Dives in Lowell. Daniel searched. Heart heavy. Bars. Motels. Found him in a flophouse. Bottle half empty. Go home, kid. No. Daniel hauled him up. Home's not a place. It's choice. Rehab next. Victor checked in. Letters grateful. Shedding for real this time. Spring bloomed renewal. Centers bursting. Victor out clean, volunteer mentor now. Sharing how not to be the villain. A kid he helped. He gets it. The hate inside. Gala June. Victor toasted Daniel. To the heir who ruled with heart. Crowd cheered. William's hand in Daniel's. Pride pure. July heat. Cottage escape. Wellfleet waves. Bonfires. Skinny dipping midnight. Salt laughing. Family's messy, Daniel said. Fire lit. Mess worth it. William's kiss. Waves crashing applause. August tested donor crisis. Victor's old fraud unearthed in audit. Unrelated, but taint. Press hounded. Daniel faced. Conference. Raw. Past's past. Present's promise. Victor stepped up. Public mea culpa. Returning tainted fees. Redemption stuck. September wedding anniversary. Vow renewal on widow's walk. Victor witnessing tears his. Nora'd love this. October harvest. Orchards heavy. Pickers sang. Victor joining off-key. Joyful. November chill. But warmth grew. Victor dating a librarian. Gentle. Second chances, he quipped. December solstice party. Lights. Carols. Victor gifting Daniel Nora's locket. Found it. For you. New Year's. Resolutions with Victor. Stay the course. In reinvention's forge. Hammers fell, forging not gold, but grace. The winter solstice of 2026 draped Harper Manor in a hush of hoarfrost and holly. The grand hall transformed into a wonderland of twinkling LEDs strung like captured stars across rafters hewn from Prohibition oaks. Daniel moved through the crowd like a host from a Capper dream. Cheek kisses for donors in velvet gowns. Bear hugs for center kids in mismatched bow ties. A quiet nod to Victor, who hovered by the punch bowl nursing a ginger ale. His once iron frame now softened by months of AA meetings and tentative therapy. It was the Foundation's second holiday gala, subtitled Lights in the Legacy, and the air thrummed with jazz from a quartet in the corner, saxophone wailing promises over the clink of glasses. William caught Daniel's eye across the room, mouthing "You okay?" with that half-smile that still unraveled him. Daniel nodded, weaving through to snag a dance, slow sway to What a Wonderful World, bodies fitting like puzzle pieces worn smooth by time. 2 years, William murmured into his ear, hand low on back. Feels like yesterday's storm. And tomorrow's sun, Daniel replied, spinning him out, pulling back in. Laughter bubbled. Easy now. The weight of battles past a distant thunder. But as midnight neared, Victor cleared his throat at the mic. Unscripted, eyes glassy but clear. "Family," he began, voice gravel-trued by confession. "I stand here not as trustee, but penitent. Once, I wielded a will like a weapon, erased what scared me. Tonight, I light a candle for the dark I cast." He raised glass. "To Daniel and William, rulers of a realm I nearly razed. May we all rebuild better." Applause swelled, genuine, and Daniel felt the final fracture mend. A scar, yes, but supple. Victor stepped down, clapping Daniel's shoulder. "Proud, nephew." Nora too. Later, in the hayloft, their perennial retreat, now strung with fairy lights, Daniel and William shed tuxes, skin meeting in reverent exploration. William's lips charted collarbone to navel, hands pinning wrists playful fierce. "My king," he breathed, taking Daniel deep, rhythm building to crescendo, cries muffled in hay. Release a shared supernova. After, tangled and sated, Daniel traced Victor's locket at his throat. He meant it. The change. William nodded, finger circling wedding band. Earned it. Like us. January's resolutions crystallized. Foundation charter for a national network. Anchors across America. Satellites in Chicago, Atlanta, San Francisco. Victor lobbied quietly. Old ties greased with humility. Harper name? Let it heal. Not haunt. Board bought in. Clara crowing. Redemption arc? Oscar worthy. February frosts nipped. But warmth spread. Daniel's first TEDx talk in Somerville. Stage lights hot. Words hotter. Erasure's the thief of our time, steals stories. Silences souls. But wills? Not just paper. They're whispers from the grave, urging live louder. Q&A flooded. A trans teen, voice quaking. "How do you forgive the unforgivable?" Daniel paused. William's gaze from wings a steadying force. Forgiveness isn't erasure. It's etching new lines over the old hate. Applause roared. Invites piled. Podcasts. Panels. William joked post-talk. Over burritos in Inman Square. Fame's heady. "Don't forget the little people. Like you," Daniel teased, feeding him a chip. "My muse." March rains revived orchards. Blossoms frantic. Victor's first date milestone. Dinner with the librarian. Evelyn, widow. Wry humor. He shared over coffee. She sees the man, not monster. Daniel clapped back. Join the club. April bloomed scandals elsewhere. Anti-queer bills in red states, but anchors pushed back. Amicus briefs filed. Fundraisers fierce. A win in Georgia. Safe harbor law. Centers shielded. Victor testified remotely. Voice steady. "I know hate's blueprint. Help us burn it." May's garden party at the manor. Kids planting resilience roses, thorns and all. One girl, braids flying, gifted Daniel a drawing, 2 lions entwined, manies merged. "For you and your William." June pride. Boston streets Rainbow River. Daniel and William marching arm in arm. Victor trailing with Evelyn. Sign, "Proud Uncle Now." Chance rose. Love rules. July heat. Wellfleet retreat. Cottage days of kayaks and cookouts. Nights on porch swings. Stars wheeling. Kids. Daniel broached one dusk. Fireflies winking. Surrogacy? Or adopt? William's grin lit brighter. Both. A brood of little rebels. August audits gleamed. Foundation solvent. Impact metrics soaring, thousands housed. Counseled. Launched. Victor's microslip. Ancient history. Audited clean. September equinox. Vow renewal at the center. Kids as ring bearers. Rabbi's words. Love's the ultimate codicil, amending all. October harvest festival. Cider presses creaking. Victor leading hayrides. Stories of bootleg ancestors spun sans shame. Theo and Elias? Heroes. Not hides. November elections. Queer rights ballot measures pass coast to coast. Foundation's fingerprints subtle but sure. Victory party in the hall. Victor toasting. To votes cast and voices heard. December solstice circled back. Gala grandeur. International guests. Virtual links to global anchors. As clock struck 12, Daniel pulled William to the widow's walk. Snowflakes dancing. 2 years wed. Lifetime more. William's kiss melted flurry. Eternal. But dawn brought reckoning. Call from Evelyn. Voice hushed. Victor sick. Prostate advanced. Docs say months. Daniel drove alone. Manor fading rearview. Hospital sterile. Victor Abed. Tubes snaking. Knew you'd come. Tell me. Daniel took hand. Veined and veined with years. Regrets the real thief. Victor coughed. Erased you to erase my fear of loving wrong. Theo, Elias chose light. I chose dark. Fix it for the kids. I will. Promise choked. Victor's eyes softened. Nora's locket, open it. Her note. Love fierce. Daniel. No erasers. Tears fell. Love you. Uncle. Love. Back. Last words. Whisper. Funeral small. Manor plot. Under the lion oak. Eulogy Daniels. Victor Harper, villain. Then voyager. His will. Redeemed. Grief carved hollows. But William filled. Nights held tight. Body solace slow. Sacred unions. Whispers weaving wounds. January thawed. Victor's bequest. Modest. To the centers. For the erased. Now etched. Foundation surged. National HQ in D.C. Daniel CEO. William Counsel. Kids came, first. A boy named Eli. Foster flung. Eyes wide at home. Then surrogacy, twin girls. Nora and Theo. Cries filling halls. Years layered. Eli's graduation. Twins' first steps. Anchors global. Daniel. Gray at temples. William's hand eternal anchor. On a November eve. 2035. Widows walk under harvest moon. Family clustered. Daniel raised flask, Harper rye. Vintage Victor. To wills that rule, paper. Heart. Choice. Glasses clinked. Echoes eternal. In America's vast. Flawed tapestry. Their thread gleamed, human. Humane. Unbroken. The end? No beginnings. Infinite.